Let's move on to number 4 Alabama versus number 1 UNC. So this is actually the first podcast I'm doing by myself. First episode as well. I imagine it's going to be a little different. People watch. But it's a little weird just talking to myself. But it's okay. I'm actually talking to you. Yeah. Talking to you. So, Alabama versus UNC. Number 4, Alabama versus number 1, UNC. That's where I got the number 1 UNC from. I'm like, what the hell was that? All right. So, let's start with Alabama. I don't know if their defense necessarily just been bad or what was it? Charleston Cougars, College of Charleston Cougars, or they just couldn't miss. Alabama is known for being one of the best, if not basically the best scoring offense in the nation. Very, very fast paced. Put up a lot of points. So pretty much guard heavy, going to run you out the gym. Alabama put up an impressive 109 points against College of Charleston Cougars. But they also let a 13 seed drop 96 on their head. And I don't like that. 96? Like, I understand you running and gunning, but where's the defense? You know? On offense, obviously, Mark Sears, hell of a game, man. 30 points. The rest of the teams pulling their weight. Every single player who logged a minute that game, and I literally mean every single player who logged a minute, scored at least one bucket. Whole team was putting in work. But like I said, defensively, I was a little worried, you know, because you got all the offense, you got the scoring. Everyone scored. I think besides Sears, you had 2 more scoring in double digits. But on the other side, the Cougars also had 6 players in double digits, 2 of them coming off the bench. Who's y'all stopping? And that's a problem to me, because obviously you can't take that energy moving on to the tournament. All 4 number 1 seeds, all 4 number 2 seeds, 1 into the Sweet 16. We got some high top caliber teams. You need to be better than that. The Cougars were able to keep Alabama on their toes a little bit. You know, obviously they lost by 13, but second half they exposed a little bit. Exposed Alabama. Kind of tried to change the pace of their own game, and it was a beating, but if I was Alabama, I wouldn't be happy with that performance, you know. In the next game against Grand Canyon, offensive output was still high. It actually, compared to their own standards, it dropped because they're a high scoring team. But compared to their own standards, they dropped. They still were able to fight through though. Kind of the same story. Sears, great game. Riley Griffin shot the ball well. It was more of a gritty, kind of close, more defensive game. And I think that was a good game for them, because it was something that can show us and maybe show them. They might not need to be shown because they might know. But I personally wanted to see how their half-court pressure, how they handle the half-court pressure when their game was forced to be slowed down. So I definitely got a good idea from that game, and I was a little bit excited to see what they had to offer when it came to that type of performance. And they did. They won the game. They pretty much came through. Like I said, Sears came through. Riley Griffin stepped up. Now they're moving on to the Sweet 16. On the other end, we're running to number 1 ranked UNC. Show out, first game of the tournament. RJ Davis was showing his quickness, showing how he could shoot. Armando Bacot, and it is Bacot, but I always say Bacot. So if I say Bacot, I know it's Bacot. It is what it is. Just like I'll always call someone named Aaron, Aaron. That's how it is. So Armando Bacot was a damn problem on the block and the boards. We seen him do work on both ends, and we even seen Jalen Withers come off the bench and give us 16 points, 10 rebounds in 22 minutes. So big men were doing work. RJ Davis was doing work, showing his quickness, showing his ability to shoot. Pretty much, they kind of seem like they can kind of get whatever they want. Game was close in the first half. I'll give them that. Wagner did kind of stick around. They were really having success on penetrating UNC zone and dishing out for good shots, as well as a little bit success down low. Like, it was a little bit of a mix. They weren't necessarily going towards one thing, but they were able to really kind of throw UNC off their game, give them a couple looks, and pretty much get some points. Second half, stepped up their defense. UNC, obviously, they found more success in transition, kind of increased the pace a little bit, was able to close the game out with a 28-point win. So they kind of rolled through the team in the second half, Next game, they faced Michigan State. That was a little bit closer. They still kind of looked very comfortable for the most part of that game. They kind of took the lead, kept the lead, stayed in lead the whole time. Obviously, no surprises on the offensive end. UNC is number one in their region for a reason. Davis and Baycott both went off, had a great game. Then you had Harrison Ingram coming in, notching in 17 points and 7 rebound game, pretty much making sure that they, because these teams are going to keep narrowing in on pretty much Baycott and Davis, so they was able to kind of show themselves and show that they can actually contribute. Obviously, they're a championship contending team. So Harrison Ingram, Cormac Ryan, when players like that are able to kind of get their shot falling, UNC becomes a real dangerous team. Obviously, you already have to deal with athleticism and speed of Davis. You already have to deal with the power and strength of Baycott, and pretty much when it comes to the weapons that they have to offer, inside, outside, you just have too much to guard. I do believe that they're going to have good success if they can have all this start off of the hands of RJ Davis. If he gets going on all three levels, especially downhill, penetrating, forcing the ball out, getting some good looks on the outside, all these cylinders clicking, they're going to be extremely, extremely tough team to stop. So now let's talk about it. UNC versus Alabama. I don't think y'all saw the names. So we got my old school legends, Paul Pierce, Larry Bird, obviously Larry's older. Jason Tatum, got the new school, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen. Obviously, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, that's my era. I was going to put my boy Rondo on here, but I wanted 5 names. I was like, all right, let me get JT. And I'm like, you know what, let me throw a throwback to an old school. So I got Larry Bird. Yeah, my homegirl, one of my best friend's wife, made this for me. I know you see that. So it's nice. Joni's Custom Crafts. I know you see that. All right, say it with your chest. Let's talk about it. UNC versus Alabama. All right, we already know what it is. It's going to be a gritty defensive game. Both these teams are great defensively. That's kind of what they're known for. Alabama, guard heavy. If I'm not mistaken, they actually run 4 guards out there. They're going to try to use their speed, try to use this lineup to force the pace, easy transition buckets, fast-paced buckets, pretty much running your team out the gym and making sure that you just don't know what's going on. UNC is more of a defensive team, or have more defensive capabilities. They display that they have the ability to make a lot of teams' lives miserable. They're going to slow down the game a little bit, try to use their size to keep your team at bay, whether if it's your fast pace that you're trying to bring to the table. So I definitely do think it's going to be offense versus defense, slow versus fast, just kind of two opposites really getting into each other, and it's going to pretty much throw in a lot of wrenches in both their plans. So I definitely think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring, good defensive game. Pretty much, not only do these teams have a little bit of history, I'm pretty sure Alabama, was it Alabama who beat them last year? Yes, Alabama beat UNC last year in a quadruple overtime win. And that was just a great game. So that matchup is definitely something that's going to come back. Sears, was pretty much part of that team, Alabama team last year. Hit 7 threes, scored 24 points. He was a big reason why Alabama won that game. But when it comes for UNC, obviously they have their history. Players graduate though. You know a lot of players are one and done, especially in UNC program. A lot of people don't realize this, but Ryan, a player on UNC, actually used to play for Notre Dame, and 2 years ago in the tournament, he coincidentally also had 7 threes, and I think scored 26 points, pretty much knocking Alabama out of the tournament. So both players, or both teams, have players that have already torched the previous team or the other team. And I definitely know that they're both also going to be looking to do the same. Have some good confidence knowing that they've found success with penetrating the zone of the other team. So I definitely, this was a little hard to choose. Offense versus defense. What I said, offense, or Alabama's offense, so fast and versatile. It's going to be hard to tune in and stop at one person because a little bit of everyone, or everyone can do a little bit of everything. Obviously, if you have to try to stop one person, Sears should be that person. UNC also have a lot of weapons that can hurt you. It's going to be a hard task stopping Baycott, Davis, Ryan, Ingram. I do think they have just a few more weapons, and Alabama's guard-heavy rotation are not going to be successful stopping UNC and their size, athleticism, strength, as well as obviously UNC's ability to defend. You add all those things, I do believe that North Carolina will be able to slow down Alabama's offense, and I question if Alabama can do the same. So I have University of North Carolina advancing, moving on to the Elite Eight.